Alrighty. Welcome to the Saturday afternoon stream. I'm your host, Apart from the 9. It is, it's a day, I suppose. Day after Christmas. So, there's that. Jeez. Where do I start? Because this is probably going to be my last stream for the year. Well, I gotta go to work later, so there's that. It's now nearing the end of the year. That's also that. By God, where does the time go? I feel the weight of many years coming down on me as the slow decay of my mortal shell starts to set in, and my mind fades into obscurity as I think on where it may lead in the end. Is there a life after death, or is there just the void waiting for us all? We come from dust and return to dust, as it were. I don't know, and I don't want to think about that right now. It's horrifying. To say the least, yeah. Seeing as it's the end of the year, I'm not likely to stream tomorrow, nor the following week, because I'll be visiting family again. I'm not really living that far, but still, it's going from one place to another and staying there for a while. So, next time I'll be streaming will likely be next week, although it would be the day, it will be as when the new year comes by. So, yeah. That's what's going on, I suppose. Let me see here, just Alright, there we go. Alright, so, yeah. So that's what's going on, I guess. I'm trying to think. I am currently thinking if I should mod my Starfield, as well as how much I gotta rework my, mod list for Skyrim. So much shit needs to be updated and such. God, it fucking feels like an arms race right now. So, yeah, that's where things stand currently. Let me look up some things real quick. Jeez, do some of these... Does this have an ESP attached to it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. No, okay. So we're just looking at this from off the bat, eh? Alright. What the hell? What do I gotta lose in trying this out? Alright. So, real quick, I'm gonna be enabling certain mods on because... Jeez. Boy. Do I even want to use Star UI? I don't really care much for it, to be honest. Not as though it's a bad thing, but still, it's also kind of sort of something that's just, whatever. There we go. Oh, that one looks closer to vanilla, actually. Oh god, I don't... Thing is, when it comes to Star UI, I'm looking at the inventory section of it. I don't really... One thing I really don't like about it is just the fact that it has so many fucking columns attached to it. It's not as though it's bad, but still, there's like so much redundancy because you have like another panel right next to this. Like, real quick, look at this. Don't get me wrong, I love this type of information if this entire panel wasn't here. You know, you got all of this right here, along with lore bits. Just seems, I don't know, this just seems a lot more cluttered. It's like, if this was this by itself, I'd be fine with it. But the problem is, you got this type of shit going on here, and then you got this thing here. What? I don't need like 50 columns to tell me what it is I'm looking at when I can just look at it right here. I mean, maybe it's diegetic, I guess, if that even is the right word to describe it. But this whole column, I don't need. I have it right here because I see the gun right here too. It's like, okay, what's the gun called? It's an Eon. Oh, okay, so this is what the Eon looks like. This is the stats. The end. I don't need oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's got 12 damage, 55 mass. It's like, and then it's like, look here, it's just like, it's the same information, but it's a card instead. Oh god. If it was just like this, I'd be fine. Where it's just like, oh yeah, we just remove the amount of stuff here. Oh god. Just looking at this annoys me, if anything, alright? I really don't think this is compact. Oh my god. Okay, so let me see. There's like an INI file to like toggle this shit. Jeez. Alright. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna turn on Star UI. Not because it's bad, but just because, again, that many columns annoys the shit out of me. Especially when you have like a 3D render and a card right there. Oh god, it just annoys me more than anything. Oh jeez. I'll try the UI later. I want to bring it to like closer to vanilla, that's why. I want the closest to vanilla experience as possible when it comes to the user interface, because it's fine. You could use some compacting, sure, but since when do I need like a bunch of columns that will obscure my character and the item I'm looking at? It's like, it's one thing to have that information in a game like Skyrim, but it's another thing to have it in Starfield when you have it like right next to it still. Alright, I'm complaining already. Let's just get started, shall we? So I chose two games that I like well enough, all things considered. Starfield and Skyrim. To say the least, yeah, I like them. It's been a rough, well, it has been a rough few months, year or two for, not Bethesda, but just games as a whole. Western games specifically, in terms of like Asian, European markets, it's actually doing pretty well, all things considered. Stalker came out a while ago. Loved that. Despite the Euro jank, I absolutely loved the ever-living shit out of it. I'm just looking to see if there's any updates I gotta get. Do I even want to get this? The thing is, when it comes to this weapon, is that I know that this is like a modern military weapon. Problem is that, yeah, no, I'm more concerned of just like this fueling a trend, but I'll talk about that later, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, in terms of games as of late this year, it's been pretty alright, all things considered. Not particularly the best, not particularly the worst, I suppose. But you know, you got what you have, I suppose. That's all you could say at best. As I said before, when it comes to Western development, so things like, you know, all the big boys out here, Activision, Blizzard, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and insert other big Western developers. It's been rough for some of them. Bethesda with Starfield has been fairly decent, I guess. Shattered Space left much to be desired, but at the very least, when it came to the new Indiana Jones game, which I actually did play because I got Game Pass for like a month. I was offered it by a friend, so, you know, it's fine. But yeah, no, I got Game Pass for like 1 month. I tried the Indiana Jones game. It was pretty good, all things considered, when I first started it off. It was pretty good, you know, it felt like an Indiana Jones game, which is not a bad thing, you know, a sense of wonder, a sense of cinematic, a set of cinematic, you know, gravitas, if that's how you want to fucking call it. You know, it's very good. But yes, it's very good, I'd say, when it comes to that.
Corkinet, looking to blow a hole in something?
Oh god. This feels... alright.
I've got more than you can handle.
Alright, sure. Dude, I got like a lot of cash right here. I need to get energy cartridges. Where's the energy cartridges? There's the energy. No, wait, is that the right energy? You know what, just... Get them both.
Doors over that way.
You're a friendly fellow, aren't you? Alright. Alrighty. So, yeah. It's been very rough for everybody that's a fan of these respective developers. I think Ubisoft is taking, unironically, most of the brunt of this lambasting for Western developers. They've been, well, compared to most others I know at the very least off the top of my head, they've been fumbling a lot of things left and right, front and center to some extent, right? And I'm thinking particularly when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now obviously you have like a bunch of people clamoring about Assassin's Creed Shadows for a variety of different things, all of which are valid to one extent or another, between historical inaccuracies, when a majority of the games have used the historical accuracies as a backdrop and set dress, despite having fantastical elements. They always kept it accurate to the time zone they had, even if they had, like, you know, magic metal apples and shit, you know? They kept 1400s Florence, 1400 Florence. They had, you know, the Crusades in...
I suspect that if I were confined to life in an office like this, someone would end up being stabbed.
Alright, but yeah, you had like, alright, let me just get rid of this real quick.
Got an update for me? Good work. Now I can let Masako know how much she'll enjoy watching the news tonight. Now, on to the next.
Yes.
Before I forget, the results of your astral. I'm happy to say that Masako was very pleased with... Apparently you said all the right things when it came to Arthur. Quantum synergy is actually... Why did I have a feeling you'd bring that up? You've still got quite a ways to go, so let's keep... You can think of this next assignment as... In order to stay on top of the next assignment requires a... Good. Luckily, there aren't... Your target is a prototype schematic, according to the rumors. The current schematic. The Trident Star Yard orbits a key. I feel bad for whoever gets... Just remember to keep...
Right, as though I'm not clean and efficient myself. Anyway. Alright, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. So, yeah, no. Assassin's Creed Shadow is Ubisoft's latest bumbling, to some extent. They are fumbling over X-Defiant, because apparently they don't like having a reliable player base, since, you know, just making a good game. What other games have they announced as of late? Because for the most part, it's just been bad news after bad news after bad news. They are the developer publisher that just keeps on getting the 5-finger salute across their backside a lot, you know? So it's just kind of It's not just trying to figure out where's this gonna go now, you know? But yeah, it's not just a matter of trying to figure out where's this gonna go now, and how's it gonna end and pan out. Ugh, boy, I don't know. I am not so much eager, but I am curious to see how things will pan out for Ubisoft. How are they gonna get out of this quagmire that they've just literally dug themselves in with the amount of things they said between, you know, like players should get used to the idea of not owning their games and, you know, all these other just insane stuff, so I really gotta look into it more. I think there's possibilities of them being bought out. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I've been hearing from people that say other things and so on and so forth, so it's more or less hearsay than actual rumors. It's more like, yeah, it's more hearsay than actual rumors rooted in some rumblings of like, yeah, in some rumblings of like other stuff going on. Give me a second, I'm looking around, trying to figure out where I want to go right now. Jeez, what I wouldn't give to just find a standardized war zone or something. Alright, so yeah, that's what's been going on with Ubisoft. I've been hearing some things going on with Activision as well. Call of Duty is... Black Ops 6 is not doing too well right now. That's unfortunate.
hydroponics farmers until Ron Hope brought them into the 24th century.
Alright. So yeah, Cock Ops 6. Oh, my mistake. Black Ops 6 is not looking too good right now. I think when it comes to... I think it's specifically because of the cheater epidemic that's been propagating for Activision. I think, what was it? One of their more recent... Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to really think through this right now because it's early. Because my head is like all over the place. But from what I understand...
I must confess.
So from what I understand, when it comes to Black Ops 6 as of late, with its more recent... with the more recent, cheater problem, I think it was the fact that they could, like, shadow ban anybody. Because apparently there's, like, a cheat and,
Please disregard.
yeah, because there's, like, a cheat that, that allows you to, like, send mass reports to one player, and then as a result, they get shadow banned. Alright, but yeah. Boy, alright. Alright, let's try this out for size, shall we? Alright. Well, okay. Alrighty, so yeah. So yeah, they pretty much, the fact that cheaters can send like mass reports out to like one person, and the anti-cheats that, the Ricochet anti-cheat I think it's called, that Activision has, just pretty much gets overwhelmed and just bans the user that was reported. And so yeah, that's what's been going on as of late for Call of Duty as of late. Ugh, boy, mess and a half right there.
We were destined to succeed.
But yeah, overall it's just messy all around as to how it's being handled, and just the fact that it got to this point as well. I think there's like kind of sort of a joke, the fact that when it comes to yeah, it's kind of sort of a joke, the fact that when it comes to like, oh yeah, no, you can't yell at little Timmy for being shit at the game, to, oh yeah, no, it's fine to cheat. It's cool, guys. That's pretty much the takeaway of this, because I know that when it comes to... I know when it comes to the actual, I think of like terms of service they have like some sort of like parameter when it comes to like verbal and chat toxicity.
The spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something.
Alright, but yeah, they have something against like verbal and chat. You know, they have like terms of service about like verbal and chat abuse or something like that. I think, yeah, no, it's pretty much to cut down on toxicity, but that doesn't do shit, and it's just very sensitive, I guess. And when I say sensitive, I do mean like actually like, I think somewhat trigger happy. I don't know, it just seems absurd when the fact that, you know, there's a bunch of other features that could do what the proverbial safeguard algorithm does, in which, for example, it could, you know, block someone, mute someone, and all that. I don't know, but still, yeah. Alrighty. Trying to find a healthy balance between difficulties right now. Because my problem is right now is that when it comes to like animals, aliens at the very least, they have like actual damage threshold bypass. What did I get? Alright, but yeah, so there's that. I'm really trying to think about other stuff I've been hearing, because for the most part, I've not been paying attention to many news, whether gaming or actual.
Still hard to believe.
Yeah, when it comes to like gaming news or actual news. Mostly because I've been, you know, holidays and all that. Alright, but yeah, so that's going on for the big boy games. I think for Bethesda, outside of their, I think, success with the Indiana Jones game, because as far as I know, it's actually been well received, which is funny to think that it's actually produced things. Oh man, I'm trying to think. I think Todd Howard does have something to do with Indiana Jones game, doesn't he? Let me see here. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, he is and was, yeah, no. Yeah, Todd Howard was involved with the Indiana Jones game. Alright. I just don't know to what extent, if I'm being honest. I've not been keeping track as of late. So, yeah, to say the least, that's been going well for Bethesda, I suppose. Nice little one-off game, and Machine Games has, to some extent or another, washed off the bad taste of Wolfenstein Youngblood. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some people that have forgotten about that game, but still, some people who are fans of Wolfenstein probably remember it pretty well. And the fact that it had nothing to do with BJ Blazkowicz, but instead had to do with his 2 children, one of which apparently is supposed to be the parent of Commander Keen and all that. You know, so there's that. I'm trying to think what else. There's been some rumblings about a Oblivion remake being done in Unreal Engine, which I can't say I'm that excited about. At the very least, the fact that Unreal Engine is like touted off and used. Don't get me wrong, Unreal Engine's great, and I will defend anybody using Unreal Engine because it is a very ubiquitous engine compared to like what others you got. What, you're gonna use Unity and them hawking a portion of your cache? You got Godot, which is not bad, mind you, but it's very in its primitive state, I guess you could say. It's mostly known for 2D games than it is actual. And they're known for their 2D games currently than actual 3D made games. And the only game that's made in 3D currently is Road to Vostok, which isn't coming out until like, I don't know, 2 years from now? Maybe 3? Hell, it could be even 5 years from now, I don't know. But the point remains, Godot isn't really proven yet, so, you know, what other engines we're gonna use? Ogre, I guess? But that thing is old as shit. But yeah, Ogre's old as shit, and the only game to last use it was Kenshi, which, mind you, is a great game, but still, I can't imagine anybody want to use Ogre now. But yeah, no, for the most part, the one thing I'm really miffed on, the very least hanging on for more details on this Unreal Engine for Oblivion, is just the fact that, I don't know, it's just a strange choice to use Unreal to remake Oblivion in. Now, don't get me wrong, like I said, it's not a bad engine to use, but compared to, I don't know, compared to, I don't know, having it just ported over to Creation Engine, why use Unreal? I mean, I can imagine a variety of reasons why not to use the Creation Engine. You'd probably need to make new assets altogether. But, hear me out. What if it was just the fact that, you know, you could just port over the Gamebryo assets and just port it over to, and just use the original Oblivion assets, port them over to the Creation Engine, and then afterwards you could just, you know, do some touch-ups from there, I guess. You technically already have a majority of the workflow technically done, and the two engines already shared similar enough lineage, because I think when it comes to the Creation Engine, it's using the Fallout 3 fork of the Gamebryo engine that Bethesda had used up to that point. So I mean, you know, you could already theoretically, you know, use Creation Engine to just remaster Oblivion. Hell, you could the only thing you probably need to do is like under the hood stuff, logic and, you know, yeah, trying to fix up some of the logic as well as some of the other stuff. But in terms of graphics, you'd probably be already set if you're already going to do a remaster. Theoretically, gameplay would be set in stone too. I don't know, it just seems so weird just to use Unreal for Oblivion. Especially considering two things. The community's regard for Oblivion, which is pretty good, I'd say, as well as the amount of mods that are for Oblivion, in which, you know, there's a great deal of, even to this day. I don't know, it just seems so strange, awkward, just thinking about it. Because details that were talked about, rumblings, actual rumblings, was apparently the fact that, you know, it's going to be using like a dual engine or something like that, so it's going to have like Gamebryo running underneath Unreal, and it's going to be like Halo Anniversary where you got like two games technically running in conjunction with each other. I don't know, it just seems so strange to even take that approach in the first place. Yeah, it just seems so strange to take that approach in the first place. Just to like have all that work, and you know, you have Unreal on top of Gamebryo, and the two are going to be running in conjunction with each other in an open world setting. In an open world setting with, you know, a variety of things like going on. Do I also have to remind people that compared to even Starfield, Oblivion is significantly more complex than Skyrim or Fallout? It's not as complex as Morrowind, I'll say that, but still. Yeah, it's not as complex as like Morrowind, where you actually have like a behind the scenes, you have like a dice roller going on to dictate your attacks, and it's governed by two things, of stamina and skill. But still, I don't know, it just seems so strange to take that approach if you're going to do a remaster. I'm not even talking about a full remake as well, you know, it's just, I'm really trying to think right now. Oh man, it's just so strange. The use of Unreal? It's Unreal. And I am saying like Unreal is like, oh man, this is surreal type of thing. But yeah, no, I don't know. It could be interesting, but just as well, it also could be, I don't know, kind of sort of a fumble a bit. I don't know, maybe it'll pan out well, but I can't imagine logistically from two things. One being the cost standpoint, and two being, well, development standpoint. Another diseased biosphere, yay. Oh boy. Alright, but yeah. Oh man, I'm really trying to think of like certain mechanical features that Oblivion would have that would be theoretically impossible to redo on the scale that having an Unreal Engine dual booting with Gamebryo is. Because the thing is, I'm really trying to think. I know that when it comes to acrobatics, it is the most borkback busted thing possible. And another thing being that when it comes to game balancing, Oblivion is, I wouldn't say terrible, but it's not exactly great either when it comes to its game balancing. The game balancing you see in Starfield, Fallout 3, 4, and even Skyrim, they are greatly different from how they were in Oblivion and Morrowind. I'm trying to remember, because I think when it comes to those two games specifically, they boosted the damage value like so sky high, and the way that level scaling worked was just so dog shit. Yeah, the way that level scaling worked was so dog shit that it was fucking impossible to play normally without having to bump it down to like easy. It's like, I'm trying to think like specifically, as soon as you reach as soon as you reach, like, I think, like, let's say level 15, enemies just start becoming just insufferable to take on. Because their damage, armor resistance was, like, fucking just high. But yeah, their damage value, or their ability to take damage was just so high, so... I'm just imagining now, if this is gonna be like a full remaster and they're not gonna touch anything too much under the hood, that people are gonna be reliving that experience. Oh boy, if you think Starfield's enemies were spongy for one reason or another, you haven't seen spongy at all until you played fucking Oblivion, boy. Surprise! Oh shit. We're out in space, boys! We're out in space! Okay, well, I was not expecting this. This was the last thing I was expecting, to be honest. What are the fucking odds that I get jettisoned out into space with these fucking clowns? Is my ship here? No, it's not here. Who am I kidding? Oh boy, can I make it back to Alpha Centauri? I can. Alright, excellent. I'll take that jump. Please. I know for a fact. Yeah, I know for a fact when it comes to... When it comes to getting stranded out, never take a ship. Alright, let's land, boys and grills. Boy, I'm really trying to think on like what else has been going on. It's not a bad ship, this one. Could use some touch-ups, but overall, I like it, actually. Hey, you mind getting rid of the bodies that are in my ship?
Need some work done? Sure, how about
The raccoon. How much is it gonna cost to register to my name? Class A reactor, supports crew of 3.
I'm sure you can find something you like.
Yes, but what if I told you I have a ship to sell you? I have this ship, premier price, Believe me, it's a good... Premier price. Swear on my dead grandmother in this game, at the very least. In real life, she's very well. I love her. Anyway. Yes. Let's see here. This ship cannot be sold because it is a part of the great ethos of the universe.
Okay.
I want to make a cruiser ship or something. Boy, let me think. Maybe it's time to retire the old girl in the way she is right now. Stroud Eklund is nice, but at the same time, I want something more humble, human, as it were. I don't think I'm gonna get that here, though.
I'm sure you can find something you like.
Anyway, I got a raccoon I could sell you. You want the raccoon? Easy 12,000. Alrighty.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Okay.
Alright, so I'm trying to think right now. So besides the Oblivion remaster that's supposedly going to come out at some point in Unreal Engine, what else has been going on? I've been hearing some rumblings over people becoming disillusioned with, as I already mentioned, with Western developers. Particularly with the big boys, Ubisoft, and the aforementioned stuff I mentioned prior. Let's talk about what's going on, I guess, in the Asian developer side, as well as to some extent European. I know Ubisoft is European too, but I'm thinking like Turkish and like Ukrainian, because there's like a lot of those now. Stalker 2 came out a while ago. It's pretty good, all things considered. Witcher 4 is being announced, or has been announced, I should say. And to say the least, it's... I liked Witcher 3 well enough. I found Witcher 1 to be okay, I guess. I haven't played Witcher 2, but I have no plans to do that if I'm being honest. I mean, Witcher 1 was okay. In terms of gameplay, it was rough. In terms of story, it was pretty good. In terms of... I really don't know what else I could possibly say. It's a game that's effectively based off Neverwinter Nights in terms of its engine. But yeah, no, overall, I found it to be okay, I guess. Witcher 4 has been announced and it involves Ciri, so that's pretty cool. Give me a second, I'm buying like a bunch of cartridges right now. Alright, but yeah, it's pretty cool that Ciri is back. Now a bit more older, as well as taking the path of the Witcher.
Come back if you need something else.
The one thing that apparently got people jived up about the new Witcher game was the fact that apparently Ciri had changed from the third game at the very least. Oh, I'm looking at the time right now. It's time to switch gears over. Alright, but yeah, when it comes to... Yeah, so when it comes to The Witcher 4, people had some misgivings over the fact that Ciri apparently changed from the third game. Which, mind you, that isn't the problem. The problem derives from the fact that apparently she underwent the she underwent the mutagenic treatments that make Witchers, well, genetically Witchers. I think, what was it, the Trial of the Grasses or something like that, or I don't know which part it was. But when it comes to, give me a second, I'm switching gears right now. There we go. But yeah, when it comes to, at the very least, that portion, there's been some debates whether or not she would have or would have not undergone that trial. I think, I'm trying to really remember specifically because I did watch, I've not read the books myself personally. I've been trying to find time to listen to the audiobooks myself, so I will concede to that. But someone that actually did read the books did say that she did undergo some parts of the Trial of the Grass elements, more particularly while she was at Kaer Morhen. Apparently the food she was given was, you know, stuff that they would feed to up-and-coming Witchers. And I think some of her training as well was, yeah, some parts of her training as well was for the, give me a second, I'm trying to think, was for the Trial of the Grasses. So I think it was like the mushrooms and vegetables she was given and the like. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Give me a sec. I gotta redo some stuff right now. I'm dicking around my Skyrim folder. This is something that I'm working on constantly, and something I have not looked at recently. Alrighty. Anyway, yeah, so people were kind of sort of miffed over the fact that her eyes are cat eyes now. Admittedly, it's not like full cat eyes like Geralt's where it's like full yellow, but you could definitely tell at the very least with the way that her eye pupil is. Let me think. I think it's iris, right? Yes, it is. Oh no, it's her pupils. Wait, no. Let me double check. I'm looking at an eye. Alright, no, it's the pupil. Alright. The way her pupils are effectively cat-like, I guess. I thought she was I thought it was like normal eyes. But apparently, no, they are like cat-like, you know, pupils. So that's what people are getting thrown off by, is talking about. It became more obvious when she drank the potion that pretty much imbued her with... Yeah, give me a second, I'm just still... Yeah, it became obvious at like one point during the trailer that when she downed like whatever Witcher tonic she brewed, her eyes became more obviously... Well, you could see more obvious details, like again, the cat pupil type thing. So yeah, to say the least, that's what's going on. I'm not really like that excited over Witcher 4, but I am looking forward to it, I will say. I was excited for Cyberpunk 2077, in which I'm not going to say, oh, because of 2077, I'm burnt by CD Projekt Red, and I'm not looking forward to any games they pushed out. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to pretend that's the reason. I'm just more like, after hearing so many people clamor on and praise like a lot of games from Witcher 3 to Fallout New Vegas to all these other games, I've become kind of sort of burnt a little bit on just like the amount of what's the word for it? It's not hype, but it's just the amount of like, I guess, glazing. I'm not sure what the right word is for it, but the amount of, I guess, brown nosing, dick sucking, whatever the fuck is going on for these games. To say the least, I'm to some extent burnt on that, and that's something that I'm just, you know, whatever to at this point. It's like, great, there's a new Witcher game. That's great. I like the third game. Second game was, I never played. First game I found to be okay, I guess. And that's really all I could say, to be honest. So yeah, that's what's going on. I am trying to... I'm really trying to think on the top of my head right now. I don't know when it's... Give me a sec. Okay. So, I am very much looking forward to Witcher 4, but I'm not really, like, I guess what you call it, full hard-on for it. I like the third game okay, and that's all I could say. There's a few problems I could point out with the third game, and it's not even comparison to, like, my personal favorite open-world game, like Skyrim right now. But in comparison to, like, say, I don't know, the World of Gothic 1, 2, 3, Dying Light 1, 2, and like, it does kind of sort of fall short graphically. It looks great. In terms of the world, though, it's kind of okay, I guess. The one thing that I think holds Witcher back, as well as even Cyberpunk 2077, is the fact there's nothing really to do after the game is done, which, you know, is a given. And don't get me wrong, there probably is still a bunch of side quests that I personally missed out on that, you know, people will go back to and play. But I'm talking about, like, you know, in terms of, like, personal progression or just, like, doing things in general. Like, let's say a minuscule... There we go. Yeah, ignore the shaders right there. Because right now, like I said, I was just dicking around with some things. This is a new character save. This has nothing to do with my, This has nothing to do with my playthrough I did a while ago. Right now, we're just doing a bunch of... This is what I'm talking about when it comes to, like, technical stuff. For some ungodly reason, my shaders are fucked. And this is community shaders. This isn't, like, in-game shaders, by the way. Give me a sec. I'm doing something different, because this is me just cocking about with, like, a bunch of stuff. There we go. Alright, here we go. This is not a serious playthrough. Not yet, at least. I am trying to, like, sort through technical stuff right now. As it stands currently, yeah. Alright, so, yeah. I'm trying to think. What other games have been announced? Oh, that's right. Onimusha was announced to have a new game come out at some point. I gotta play the first Onimusha. I know there's, like, a bunch of other Onimushas, but there's, like, some stuff I do wanna... That is a game series I do want to tackle at some point. I think I streamed it once, but I never really got around to actually properly... Yeah, that's a game series I touched once, but never really got around to actually playing extensively. Alrighty. Alrighty, yeah, this is just great though. So, as you clearly see, this is my Skyrim currently. I am trying out a bunch of different things right now. I have forgone the use of an EMB in favor of just pretty much using shaders. As you can see right now, it's not going well. I'm not going to switch back to EMB, I don't think. I am going to continue using the community shaders. I'm trying to figure out what's causing some issues though. The 38 shaders I got going on is kind of sort of like screwing over, and as you can clearly see, this is not how the game is supposed to look. So yeah, that's going on, I guess. I'm trying out like a bunch of new animations. I want to play the jeez. I want to play a high elf for my next playthrough, and I want to play like a light armor mage. Yeah, I want to play like a light armored mage or something like that. Not sure if I want to commit to using full magic or use a sword. But yeah. You know, I'm going to try use full magic because that's something I want to try and move away from martials right now. I want to use yeah, I want to move away from using martial weapons right now. I'm going to use full magic for this. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, get used to seeing 38 shaders fail to compile, because I'm not gonna touch that right now. I don't have the time to do so. Literally, I don't have time right now. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. It's like, oh, I don't have time right now. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Alrighty. Is this even Skyrim anymore? Someone's probably gonna ask. Yes, this is still Skyrim. I shouldn't say it as though I was like, oh man, I'm so great. No, but I've been trying my effort to try and, like, make as close as a vanilla plus experience as possible for me. I don't want to play what is effectively a full-on, like, it's like, oh, I'm playing Dark Souls, but it's in Skyrim, guys. God, there's been like too many of those. I don't want to make this like an action RPG. Or, you know, like full-on action RPG where it's like got like full maneuvers and shit. I just want something that's simple. Ugh, boy, I might have to use the sword. Alright. It's good that I got that level up. There we go. Excellent. Arvel is dead because he's a thief. And thievery doesn't pay, kids. Alrighty. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to use a sword for a while. Man, if I had a spear instead of a sword, I'd be cooking right now. Well, cooking in the sense that I'd have, you know, a bunch of Draugr on one end and then have them skewered on the other. So right now I'm playing with precision, which adds a few... Oof, that hurts. Alright, but yeah, I'm playing with precision right now. A mod that adds the ability to have, like, precise hits effectively. And when I say that, I'm mostly referring to the fact that weapons now have a hitbox that needs to be hit instead of, like, whatever the original style was. So yeah, whatever the original style was, which I think was like hit scan, now I need to actually have my weapon make contact with another being. So that's pretty nice, all things considered. Gameplay is pretty much the same. I think I'm really trying to like remember off the top of my head. I'm using a very lightweight combat mod that mostly just brings Skyrim's combat to the standard of Oblivion. Yeah, brings it up to the standard of like Oblivion and Morrowind before it, where its stamina is important to manage. In which, I guess that's kind of Dark Souls-y, but if it's a mechanic that existed in the first game... Yeah, if it's a mechanic that existed in the first game in that sense, I don't see why not to bring it back a bit. I think even now when it comes to... Yeah, I think even now when it comes to even Starfield, you still need stamina to at least perform melee attacks effectively. Granted though, I think it's mostly just when it comes to heavy attacks, because heavy attacks were always important. Yeah, heavy attacks were always important. Light attacks are still negligible to some extent. There we go. Alrighty. I'm already spotting a few things I do need to try and fix. Obviously the shader is one of them. I want to remove the animation that I'm using, or the animation mod I'm using. I'll probably just stick to something that's like closer to vanilla because, well, honestly, I think any animation mods that are on the Nexus currently are way too fancy for what I'm going for. I want something that would make it feel like, kinda like Dragon's Dogma a little bit. Yeah, kinda like Dragon's Dogma in the sense that the animation is just like very utilitarian and standard. And so that's what I want to go for. Besides as well, I'm looking at the animation when moving. It's very... Yeah, the animation is very just like... stiff in terms of upper body. These are clearly meant for... Yeah, these are clearly meant for like a different character from mine. I'm also looking into using a different armor mod altogether. Don't get me wrong, this outfit is great, but I'm not sure if it would fit the angle I'm going for. See here. Clairvoyance. Trying to figure out myself if I'm being honest. Do I want to continue using light armor or do I want to use heavy armor? I don't know. I know when it comes to Elder Scrolls, unironically, you could actually play a mage with heavy armor, unlike, like, say, D&D, where you need to, like, specialize in it first. But still, I don't know. When it comes to some of the heavy armors that are in Elder Scrolls, they are great for if you want to be a martial character or a half martial and half caster character. Not that great if you want to be a pure caster. Alrighty. Alright, into Brittle Shit Pass. See here. Alrighty. Okay, lovely. Just lovely. Boy all might. Alright. Yeah, there's like a few things I gotta really work on right now. In terms of really getting this game to, well, first, not look like there's a impending incursion of the Shadow Realm, you know? Boy, I need to work on some of the LODs to some extent. And then again, I don't know. I mean, so far, in terms of like near-term stuff I got going on, it's fairly alright. So in terms of other stuff, well, I wonder what an Oblivion remake would look like. Yeah. Wonder what an Oblivion remake would look like. The Cyrodiilic Peninsula. Yeah, the Cyrodiilic Peninsula. What a wonder that would be to see in next gen. At the same time, I don't know. I really gotta brush up on Elder Scrolls lore to some extent. It's been a while since I last listened in on it. I know that Elder Scrolls Castle's out. I actually played it. It was pretty alright. I found it to be pretty good, all things considered. You know, it's not the best, not the worst. It's a mobile game. Boy. That's right, I got the Dismember mod. Yeah, there's like a few mods I got going under the hood right now. Yeah, there's like a few things I got going on under the hood. Some things that haven't been shown off yet. Yeah, this is kind of actually why I haven't started modding a Starfield yet. It's just because of the fact that when it comes to mods, currently it's kind of sort of like all over the place. It's a bit of an arms race, as it were. So yeah. It kind of sort of feels like a bit of an arms race with like the way things are progressing and how they try and pan out a bit. I don't know. Still though, you know, it got me thinking when it comes to mods, whenever people bring up modding, particularly when it comes to Bethesda games as well, and to some extent Rockstar games, it always seems like people are set on like mods will fix it, right? I can't help but kind of laugh at that notion. But yeah, I can't help but kind of laugh at that notion. It's just like, really? Right, but yeah, it's like, really? Yeah? Game's gonna... mod's gonna fix what is effectively a turd? It's like, great, yeah, no. Who would do that, though? I don't know, it just seems so... I don't know, I guess maybe it's the fact that after, for Bethesda games specifically at the very least, after what is effectively like years of community, you know, support. Yeah, after like years of community support and people have like gotten used to like Skyrim playing a particular way for them, it seems so foreign to play a game that is, you know, so drastically different from what they, you know, modded their game to be like. I'd say it also applied to, like, Stalker as well, funnily enough. But yeah, that's sort of like, yeah, that's sort of like continued community, efforts to maintain a game. Yeah, that kind of sort of applies to Stalker to some extent, now I'm thinking about it. Given the fact that people have modified their games to play differently from how their, you know, their base game versions were originally. I don't know, I'm really trying to think. I know that when it comes to Starfield, there were a variety of things that were like, that definitely buckled a bit under scrutiny, but to another extent, there were also a few things that did still stand out. Some of them good, some of them kind of bad. Mostly just the fact that the open world elements has been like scaled back a bit for something else altogether. So there's that. I wonder what Bethesda will do to improve Starfield. I look forward to it, to be honest, but still, I wonder what they can do. Alrighty. We're getting close to curtain call, actually. Let's see. Any other adventures to be had nearby? I think there's a lunar forge just like across from there, isn't there? Yeah. Let's go there. Yeah, I'm still in the process of like making my Skyrim at the very least visually up to date. Or not visually up to date, visually good, I guess? I don't know how you want to say it. Yeah, I want to like kind of sort of lightly remaster Skyrim on my end, but I don't want to like change the core gameplay like drastically. Oh, look at that. Oh dear. I thought I had the Never Nude option on. Oh well, what can you do, I guess. Anyway, free elven armor though. Let me see, did I get any new weapons as well? I don't think I did. These guys aren't carrying elven weapons. Yeah. Alright, yeah. It's worth taking a look at, I guess. So yeah, I did, as I mentioned before, I am going to play, if I ever do, no actually, one thing at a time. I do want to play a elf character this time around for Elder Scrolls, in Skyrim specifically. I know that when it comes to the older games, they don't look that good. This is what I've put together with mods to some extent. Not particularly great, not particularly terrible. It's mostly the hair doing all the heavy lifting. But yeah, it's mostly the hair that's doing all the heavy lifting. Instead of like the usual, like, blast back standing hair, fucking Trolls-esque type stuff. Instead, it's like actual, like, human hair. I'm trying to really think. I think to some extent for Skyrim it does work a little bit. But yeah, for Skyrim it does kind of work, although it really does depend on like what type of hair I'm going for. I don't think there's any like short hair options for elves. There are like long hair options, as you saw earlier with the Dark Elf 4.
Did you hear something?
But for like short and like short parted hair and the like, yeah, no, that's kind of. Oh shit! I just chopped off her hand. I just realized. Yeah, it's either that or getting like the mohawk hair, in which I don't want to do that either. I'm trying to think as well, like, there's also a few other things with the elves as well. Like, for example, their skin, more particularly their skin complexion is just not that great in the default game. Dark elves get the brunt of it, to say the least. I'm not sure about the... Yeah, Dark Elves kind of sort of get the brunt of it a little bit. But, yeah. Let's see what's behind here. Here we go. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, Lunar Forge has been cleared, and I did 3 dungeons in the span of 45 minutes. That's not bad, I guess. Oh, would you look at that? There's also an alternate way to get in if you don't want to go through the front. Let me see. I think potions, yeah, they heal me over time instead of instantaneously. Alrighty. It's actually time for curtain call. Shorter than usual, but still, nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed this short stream. I gotta actually get myself ready for work in sense of just preparing a few things. So, time for the final thoughts section. It's been a interesting year thus far for 2024. A lot of ups, a lot of downs for me personally. A lot of ups, a lot of downs for video games personally. And, well, just all things considered, it's kind of sort of a mixed year. It's sort of a awkward transitionary phase for a lot of things between COVID, between political alliances and allegiances and all that. You know, we got all sorts of stuff going on. For the next year, I hope to at the very least continue streaming and trying to at the very least find my footing in both Twitch and YouTube. Particularly YouTube, if I can help it, but still, that's here nor there. So let me think. Next year, I'll be doing I'll probably be cutting back on a few things I'll be doing. Streaming above all of them and such. But I do want to try and tackle a few more games, as well as retouch up upon games I have played prior. Bethesda games, I want to do a Bethesda game marathon at some point. I want to do like a bunch of other games and, you know, part of franchises or part of developers and the like. But I do want to at the very least kind of sort of return to form for me and like do one-off titles to some extent. So like, I guess you could say like Let's Plays and walkthroughs type stuff. That's the stuff I do want to try. And I do want to try my hand at doing single-player tabletop games. So, but that's going to take like a considerable amount of stuff to try and prepare on. But yeah, no, there's a few things I want to try, games I want to try, as well as ideas I want to try. Like I said, the single-player tabletop game, or tabletop role-playing game, I do want to try out. But it's going to take some researching into, like researches, like in considering and designing some rules and all that. So, as well as what game I want to even, like, try out. Do I want to try, like, some of the pre-made stuff, or do I want to try, like, homebrewing my own stuff type of deal? So, it's kind of sort of where things stand at the very least. So, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this stream. If you want to see more, I'm not going to be doing so for the rest of the remaining of this year. I know, sad times all around, but still, between me having to prepare for, well, going to visit my family again, as well as working, it's going to be kind of sort of scattershot a bit. So, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this stream. I'll see you next one. That being the next year, next week. And I'll see you then. Till then, take care of yourselves. Well, I know that the Hanukkah started a while ago, so still happy holidays. And, of course, specifically, have a happy new year. I'll see you, well, next week, I guess. Till then, take care of yourselves.